Świnoujście is a city and seaport on the Baltic Sea in Szczecin Lagoon, located in the extreme northwest of Poland. It is situated mainly on the islands of Usedom and Wolin, but also occupies smaller islands, of which the largest is Karsibór Island, once part of Usedom, now separated by the Piast Canal dug in the late 19th century to facilitate ship access to Szczecin. Świnoujście directly borders the German seaside resort of Ahlbeck on Usedom. Both are freely connected by a street and by 12 kilometers of beach promenade. Since 1999, Świnoujście has been a city with the administrative rights of a county within West Pomeranian Voivodeship. It was previously part of Szczecin Voivodeship. The city lies in the geographic region of Pomerania and had a population of 41,516 in 2012. Świnoujście is one of the most important areas of the Szczecin metropolitan region. Despite its relatively small population, Świnoujście is Poland's ninth largest city by area. History. The first human settlements in areas that are now Świnoujście appeared 5,000 years ago, as confirmed by archaeological findings. For 1,000 years the estuary of the river was part of the state of the Świnoujście, who were annexed by Polish ruler Mieszko I. In later centuries local Pomeranian princes ruled the area, and on both sides of the river they built fortified castles, which were destroyed several times by the Danish invasions in the 12th century in 1170 and 1173. During the 30 Years' War the city became part of the Swedish Empire. The river Wiener was formerly flanked by the fishing villages of Westwine and Ostwine. Towards the beginning of the 17th century it was made navigable for large ships. The Kingdom of Prussia gained the area in 1720 from Sweden, and included it in her Pomeranian province. Świnoujście was founded on the site of Westwine in 1748, fortified, and received town privileges from King Frederick II of Prussia in 1765. It served as the outer port of Szczecin and was administered within the province of Pomerania. Świnoujście became part of the German Empire after the Kingdom of Prussia completed the unification of Germany in 1871. The town had broad unpaved streets and one-story houses built in the Dutch style, which gave it an almost rustic appearance, although its industries, beyond some fishing, were entirely connected with its shipping. The river mouth, which was the entrance to the harbour, and which was regarded as the best on the Prussian Baltic coast, was then protected by two curving long breakwaters, and was strongly fortified. On the island of Wolin, on the other side of the narrow Wiener, a great lighthouse was erected. In 1897 the canal of the Karsibór was opened to navigation, and this waterway between the Szczecin harbour and the Baltic Sea was deepened between 1901. From then on Szczecin could be reached directly by ships, and Świnoujście's importance diminished somewhat. On the 12th of March 1945 during World War II, refugee-crowded Świnoujście suffered heavy destruction by the USAAF. An estimated 5,000 to 23,000 were killed, most of whom are buried on the Lagoon War Cemetery west of the town, on the German side of the border. The unfinished German aircraft carrier Graf Zeppelin was scuttled in the harbour in an attempt to prevent its capture by the advancing Red Army. After the German forces defending the city were evacuated, Soviet forces occupied the city on the night of 4 to 5 May 1945. The city was placed under Polish administration on 6 October 1945 and since then has remained part of Poland, which was officially affirmed by both countries in 1990 after the fall of the Iron Curtain. After the war ended it was officially renamed Świnoujście. Its German population was expelled and replaced with Poles, some of them themselves refugees from territories of Poland annexed by the the Soviet Union. In the winter of 1945, former victims of German concentration camps and repressions during the war, now members of the Polish security forces, acted in revenge against local Germans and killed 40 civilians. They were later sentenced for robbery by a Polish court. The Soviet military occupied part of the city until 1957 and the Navy harbor until the early 1990s. Climate. Winoochi is situated in the oceanic climate, which is characterized by mild winters and relatively cool summers. Very large influence on the climate of the city is the location of the Baltic Sea. Winoochi often in winter is the warmest city in Poland. Population 1,875 to 7,977, 1,880 to 8,478, 1,890 to 8,508, 1,900 to 10,300. 1,925 to 18,352, 1,933 to 20,514, 1,939 to 26,593, 1,947 to 5,800. 1,960 to 17,000, 1,970 to 28,100, 1,975 to 42,400, 1,980 to 47,100, 1,990 to 43,300, 1,995 to 43,361, 2,000 to 43,697, 2001 to 43,351, 2002 to 41,542. 2003 to 41,188, 2004 to 41,098, 2005 to 40,993, 2006 to 41,100, 2007 to 40,871, 2008 to 40,829. 2009 to 40,765, 2010 to 40,759, 2012 to 41,516. Infrastructure. Transport. The town is located on both banks of the River Wiener, and since there is no road connection across it, transport is provided by regular ferries, because the west section is otherwise wholly disconnected from the rest of Poland. This service is free of charge. Under current plans, a road tunnel will be built under the river. The tender for it was announced in April 2016, with completion planned around 2020. Winoochi has the largest and most modern ferry terminal in Poland, with regular connections to Denmark and Sweden. The city lies at the northern terminus of Polish National Route 3, which is in turn part of the European Route E65 running across Europe from Sweden to Greece. Winoochi has 4 railway stations on the eastern bank of the Wiener on Wolin Island, with regular regional connections to Szczecin and long-distance connections to other cities in Poland. Land border controls were abolished the 21st of December 2007, and free automobile traffic to and from Germany was allowed for the first time since 1945, as Poland implemented the Schengen Agreement. From the 20th of September 2008, the city has a railway connection to its western portion as well, when the railway line to Ahlbeck was extended eastward to Winoochi, giving it a direct link to the German railway network. The nearest airport at Heringsdorf in Germany, 13 kilometers west of Winoochi, will likely become more important for traveling to the city, if it ever acquires year-round scheduled passenger connections. It currently has a number of summer connections to German cities only. The nearest airport with year-round traffic is the Szczecin Świnoujście Airport, 80 kilometers to the southeast in Poland. Tourist attractions. The former town hall houses the Museum of Deep-Sea Fishing. Exhibits include the history of sea fishing, sea animals, the town and its region, and old navigation equipment. The Angels Fort, built from 1845 to 1858, is a replica of Hadrian's mausoleum. Concerts and art exhibitions are held at the Western Fort. Built between 1843 to 1863, it has been modernized a few times in the past. From after World War II until 1962 it was the headquarters of the Red Army. The 18th Christ the King Church in the center of the town was erected on the site of a Gothic temple. A wooden ship replica is in the main nave. Organ concerts are presented during the summer. The neo-Gothic Church of the Holy Mother, Stella Maris, has stained glass windows of great artistic value. It was erected at the end of 19th century. The well is a preserved tower of a Protestant church damaged during World War II and demolished afterwards. A shelter built in 1942 has the exposition The Town Yesterday and Now, presenting pictures of the town's history and other exhibits. The Stawa Maliani is a navigation beacon built in the form of a windmill on the 19th century breakwater. The lighthouse, built in 1858, is at 68 meters the highest lighthouse on the Baltic Sea. The Eastern Fort, or Gerhard's Fort, is one of 3 preserved forts from the 19th century. An exhibition inside the building presents the history of the town's forts, as well as objects found there. The district of Karsibór contains an evangelical cemetery established in the first half of 19th century. The Gothic church from the 15th century contains an altar from the 15th century and a pulpit from the 17th century. A monument honors the memory of Royal Air Force pilots shot down while raiding the town in April 1945. Karsibórska Kepa, an island near the town, contains a bird sanctuary with approximately 140 species. International relations. Twin towns. Sister cities. Winoochi is twinned with Heringsdorf, Germany since 2007. Nordenham, Germany since 1992. Ostvorpommern, Germany since 1998. Svetlik, Russia since 1993. Ystad, Sweden since 1990. Districts of Winoochi, Pritor, Karsibór, Wydreny, Lunowo, Oganica. Professional teams. Flota Winoochi plays in the second division of the Polish Football League, Polish First League. Przewobrze Winoochi plays in B-Klasa. Notable residents. Alfred Plutz, Elsa von Freytag Loringhoven, artist. Crystal Peters, actress. Jürgen Harder, Luftwaffe pilot. Hans Werner Gross, record-breaking glider pilot and AMP, Luftwaffe pilot. Gisela Stein, actress. Hans-Jürgen Todt, German modern pentathlete. Cities and towns near Winoochi. Szczecin, Międzyzdroje, Kamień Pomorski, Nowe Wapno, Ueckermund, Ahlbeck.